Welcome, guys, to the Soccer Matters Dynamo Pulse post-game show. Rough one, Glenn.
2-1 Dynamo go down here tonight, Shell Energy Stadium. We want to get your thoughts in here tonight and join us and see what you thought about the game. A couple of things here. From an entertainment standpoint, it was more entertaining. I think the question still remains for the Houston Dynamo. It's in the goal-scoring department. They came out pressing a lot more aggressive than we saw, obviously, in Columbus. Started out in minute number 1, though. The Dynamo get caught. Thiago Gonzalez getting a goal. This was a great buildup. Anelli picked out Diego Luna. By the way, Diego Luna, what a player. I mean, we have to really give him props. This is why he's in with the men's national team and Mauricio Pochettino and will play in the Nations League. But Anelli would square it to Gonzalez, and the Dynamo would go down 1-0. 16th minute, Jack McGlynn would hit a wonderful piece of delivery off a free kick, and Ezekiel Ponce would tie things up. That would make it 1-1. Amin Bassi would score a goal that I think is controversial and which could have come back and not have been called off. But they claimed Ezekiel Ponce was in an offside position that influenced the goalkeeper.
You're good.
And that would have made it 2-1 Houston Dynamo. Unfortunately, 45 plus 4, it was Diego Luna who headed in a driven cross right on the stroke of halftime, and that would make it 2-1. So that's the way it ends here tonight. So let's get your thoughts in on the post-match show here. Obafemi Awadesu, I think, comes out a shining star here tonight, the rookie taking over from Mikael. I'm glad to see Ponce get his first of the year. That's obviously pretty important for the Houston Dynamo. But again, I thought Ezekiel Ponce drifted into midfield too much for me. Yeah, Chris said, what do you think of the offside goal? That could have went either way for me, honestly. I don't know how much influence Ponce had on Cabral in goal for RSL. 3 losses in a row at home, not a good way to grow the fan base, not a great start to the season. Yeah, pressure's on, I think so. Listen, I think losing those 4 players, you knew there were going to be real challenges. Let's be honest. You're replacing Mikael, Hector Herrera, with others, and you're hoping that others are going to come good. Coco, another one that's gone. Mikael, Coco, Hector, and Steve Clark as well. And now Andrew Tarbell, you know, I'm going to say could possibly have a knee injury here. Hopefully it's a sprain or a strain or something like that. Jimmy Maurer, I thought, came in and did a great job as an experienced goalkeeper. Dynamo need a real 9. Well, Andreas, tell me what you mean by that, because if you mean by that Ponce keeps coming back into midfield a lot, I think he comes back into midfield too much. I get it to set defenders up, but I thought he did. Jose says this is unacceptable. 3 years figuring out how to make goals. It's true. It's been a long time trying to add an attack to this possession defending game, and it's a lot more evident now because I think you're fraying a little in the possession department as well. Lost to Derby, got embarrassed nationally, bad at home, not good. Jeff Strong, team needed a longer preseason, clearly. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's got the same. I don't think it's a longer preseason. I think it's players.
Yeah.
McGlynn's performance, very deep tonight, I think, for Jack. I don't think his delivery, although his delivery on the ball to Ponce was great, I don't think his delivery was up to his standards. I think he was about 50-50. I think he needs to be 65-70 on his delivery, maybe 80. Yeah, I thought Maurer looked very good, Chris. I would agree with that. Ike Bear, Ponce needed to put his second header away. Yes. Pat Nasher are not doing the job on time. Well, it's fair to say that, you need players ready when others are going to go. I think that's very fair. Hello to Edson. Energy was good. I'll tell you what, as far as the 3 home games, let's take out the fact that the Dynamo got beat. It was the most entertaining game we've seen at home this year, unless you're a big fan of Sergio Busquets and Luis Suarez. Very disappointing crowd, though, I'll tell you that. The relevancy of the Dynamo in the Dash, it is a big question mark here.
Yeah, the Dash.
It's a big question mark.
The Dash last.
I would love to know what actually comes through the turnstiles and what are actually paid tickets. I really think that's the pieces of data we wish we had. Ladero looked like he was frustrated. Well, yeah, he did press his teammates because he's a veteran. He wants to win. He's won 2 MLS Cups. He's a winner. He's played at places like Ajax. He's been on a 4th-place team at a World Cup. That's why he's there. He's a pro. I think the fact that the Dynamo pressed tonight and got him around the penalty area was good. He brought a much-needed dose of creativity. Frustrating overall. Yeah, certainly from the standpoint of not producing more goals. By the way, it's 3 shots on goal in 2 games. It's not enough. How do we lose to RSL? They don't even have Chicho. Well, they did lose Chicho Arango. They did lose Andreas Gomez, and they did lose Anderson Julio to Dallas.
The last comment from him there. I don't know if I'm ready to jump on the Pat Onstad or jump off that bandwagon yet. I think yes, they missed their mark this offseason, making moves.
Yeah.
Is the pressure on? Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think there's any question. The Dynamo were aware Coco's on his way out.
Yeah.
Mikael had lots of attention during the middle of last year. He's a physical beast. So, I mean, it's easy to sit here and say, hey, we got Gammon, we got a DP position, but we're losing games. And the trick is you need to be winning games now. You're going on the road to Portland and Seattle now, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got the LA Galaxy, who might be finding form finally. This is trouble.
Hector Flores, is it the player or the tactics? I'm willing to say it's tactics. I don't know if it's necessarily players.
Corey, and it's both.
Yeah.
It's both. I mean, at some point, tactics could be the answer to your attack. But look, the Dynamo got around the box tonight. They had only 2 shots on goal.
Well, and there was
I think they get there late. I think they get there with defenses more settled, so they have to go through a lot of bodies. There's not a transition game yet. There's not a transition game. And there were times tonight where the Dynamo picked the ball up near the halfway line. You're just saying to somebody, run. Get in behind their defense. Put the ball there. That's how Inter Miami scored. But, you lose the caliber of the players you lost in Herrera and Coco from a possession standpoint and a controlling of the game standpoint. It's going to stick out, and it's sticking out. I like the fact that Ladero and Ponce got around the box more tonight because the Dynamo did have a more aggressive posture. You're going to say something.
There was that one run of play where Ladero took off, and Bassi and Kowalczyk were just standing there. Take off and run.
I think the team is very used to being a bit more methodical, and I think these are areas that you got to really take a microscope to and say that, you have to show an opponent that you are capable in transition. Well, Ladero's a minutes thing. Darren says, I'm fed up, feels like seeing the same game over and over. That's fair. Players or tactics, both. No fire. I don't know about that. I think effort was there tonight. I think the energy was there tonight. Definitely next level than it was against Inter Miami. You didn't miss the mark, says Dago. He says, HH, Coco, and Mikael in one swoop. Yep. Well, Real Salt Lake lost in one scoop. Gomez, Arango, and Julio. They need a big-time DP. Yeah, the possession game is not equal to the possession game the last 2 years. It's more direct now, which makes it a little bit more of a game of second balls and 50-50s, and you know that has changed for sure. Over the 20 years of the dog, of course it has. Of course it has, Jeff. That's. I mean, some of these things are systemic. Now, somebody's going to tell me, hey, but they made the playoffs 2 years in a row. We deliberately, yeah, so Kyle's bringing up a good point. Deliberately abandon attacks with momentum to pass teams into oblivion. I agree. There is, remember when Escobar stepped in front of somebody and took off with the ball, and the whole tempo of the game went up? And it led to a corner, and it led to very, very good stuff. There's just not enough of that for me. It's a lot of good footballers, a lot of good people on the ball. I think defenses still get too settled. There has to be a transition game, and you got to bring in some players that are going to lift the others and make the McGlynn signing better, make the other signings better. There's a hot seat. Who's on it? Well, that's, I mean, look, it's staff, and it's the competitive side of the team. It's everybody. We have energy, we have drive, fire, but we can't put the ball in the net. 3 shots in 2 games on target. It's not good enough. I don't care how many entries you have. I don't care how many half chances you had. You had 3 shots on goal. No one could put it away in the scramble. It's easy. We officially have experienced the worst start in club history. I think everybody's aware of the start. It's 3 losses in a row at home, and not good for the relevancy of the club.
With that, I'm going to go through the standings really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, with that loss tonight, Dynamo have now dropped to 14th in the West. 1 point. 1 point so far this season. RSL moved up to 8th. Let's see what else is going on. We'll go through some other scores.
No, it is more than one player, but the Dynamo are bringing in Dwayne Holmes. They're putting their money on him, Edson. They got to get a high-end DP, and they got get another high-caliber player. So, you know, it's both. It's collective, but it's also, you got to get some better players in. And I don't mean that as a slight to anybody, but they have to be players that can influence others. It has to be somebody that makes Jack McGlynn better, so that some of the responsibility is taken off him. I've been shouting that from the mountaintops on the radio show. Hey, by the way, guys, I would love to see some of you guys out at Jersey Village on Tuesday night. We're doing a 2-hour live show. Going to have former MLS players there. We're going to talk player development. We're going to have some League MX talk, Dynamo talk. Love to see some of you guys out there. 6 to 8. It's Senate Avenue Brewing, or Brew Pub. Excellent place. It's right off of 290 and Beltway 8, right there. They got a copper ale that's incredible. But when you walk in, you smell the beer. So we can drown our sorrows if you want together. So if you want to come out there, I'd love to see some of you guys. So there you go.
Got to tackle that one.
It's very nice of you, Hector. Thank you. By the way, I was never away. I've never been on the first team of the Apple broadcasts. I've been on the local. But I don't think there's a lot of promotion of this, so it's the way it goes. Agent winners, 8 goals conceded. Yep. That's a big one. Edson says, yeah, I feel some people believe that a DP. No, but that can go a long way, having a real fulcrum of a team. Look how important Hector was in 2023. 17 assists, 4 goals. He was the guy that could make special plays to get you points. We don't have that person right now. Maybe it can be Ladero a little bit, but it's a lot to ask of a 35-year-old. Yep. Forgiving league playoff format or not, no. Listen, if you go another 4 or 5 games and don't get more points, you're going to really be in the hole, even in this league, because it can accumulate fast.
Already more home losses this year
Well, they
I
did.
don't know
They
if you
did
have
win a
right
Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, but all right, Jose. I would love to see you at Jersey Village. I'd love to see all you guys there because this is really encouraging to me because we have a lot of people that know the game. You guys all prove it here with your comments. So there you go. What do you think of Ponce? I think he's a penalty area guy, but I think he's always surrounded by 2 and 3 defenders. I thought he spent too much time coming back into midfield. I think he needs more discipline to stay higher up the field, have confidence that Bossi, Kowalczyk, and others can bring the ball forward. But he's got to occupy a center back for me. He's very good in the air, no question. We already have more home losses than in 2023, Agent Winners. Anybody want to comment on Diego Luna? I mean, what he did on that goal, dig the ball out against Griffin Dorsey, carry it back towards the 18. It goes out wide off a deflection and then makes a run in the box. And simply because he makes the run, this ball ends up on his head. And that's the beauty of making runs. But, you know, we got to develop a transition game. We really need one. I think it's still a team trying to figure out what its tactics are now. Can't be the same methodical build of the last 2 years. You don't have the possession players of the same level. Ben Olsen Dago has talked a lot about box occupation is what he calls it, getting more in the box. They had moments there were more in the box. Diego Luna looked next level tonight. I mean, every time he had the ball, he did really something positive, whether he was switching the play of the game, scoring a goal, played a part in the first goal as well. And this guy's got like this mentality to me that's just, he's like a beast. He's competitive as hell. I love it. Yeah, I think MLS made a mistake with, bagging local calls. I think it's a mistake. And I think you're seeing Apple loosen up the paywall a little bit to get more attention. But I think that's a mistake. The Texans here in Houston, the Rockets, the Astros, they're never going to go away from a local call. That's part of sports. You want your local guys. They become part of your franchise, either willingly or unwillingly, but they're part of your franchise. They speak for the fan in a way that the front office can't, maybe. Diego Luna's an intriguing death. Yeah, he is. And let me tell you, Pochettino appreciates the edge that guy brings to a game. I don't think there's any question. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get that quote from Pat. Well, why wouldn't he? I mean, of course. Luna's fantastic. Miami has legends. Yeah, well, you got a rookie. I thought Obafemi Awadesu did a very good job tonight. I think he's growing in front of our eyes, Jose. And I really do. Everybody's got to start somewhere, and I don't think you can expect Obafemi or Jack in McGlynn to not have moments where they make mistakes. Jack, I think, needed to have more of an impact on the game. And if he wasn't going to have it through the run of play, it should have been through his set pieces. And he had one beauty. He had a bunch of others that should have been cashed in on. Is Ponce in the position to interfere? That was a hit or miss to me. I've seen that called and haven't. He was in an offside position. There's no question. Could he have done a better job of maybe realizing Bossi's going to hit this and move out of the direction away from the goalkeeper? Maybe. But I've seen that one called both ways. Edson reminds us Diego Luna was at El Paso. And he said, I felt then he would be special. Yep. Good call, Edson. What else you got, guys? What else do we need? Again, Tuesday, it's a 2-hour show. Going to have some Soccer Matters T-shirts there. There's incredible beer. We're going to be able to mix. You're going to get some Josh Gordon from MLS Next. Houston Rangers will be there. He won an MLS Cup with the LA Galaxy. He played on Seattle. He'll be there. He's going to talk player development. I'm trying to. I've invited. Don't know if he's going to be there. The Dynamo head of their academy, Tony Vigil. I want to go with those guys on player development and what we're doing here in Houston. We just are not moving players through to the first team here. We should be. It's too many years. There's too much talent here. It seems to either go elsewhere or never get an opportunity. It's a mystery to me. It's kind of like Area 51 out in where is that? Nevada. Right?
Oh yeah.
Nevada. Darren says, hard to believe from my seat. Yeah, Ponciano. Yeah, it just depends on the angle. They had to look from behind the goal. Broadcast sounded great tonight. Glenn and crew, hometown call, every match, no-brainer. Thank you for that, Kyle, because, we try our best here to make sure the feed is good. We don't lose it. We don't want what happened to Journey last night at the rodeo to happen to us. We take this serious. We want to provide the best we can to the fan. This, as much as soccer is a game, this is not a joke to me when it comes to providing the best for you guys. It's my passion, it's your passion, it's our passion. Dynamo Dawson, our only hope for points currently. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the results down there, Jeff. I'm more worried about what comes through to the first team and the true usefulness of Dynamo Dos in the academy is how many get through to the first team. Now, it served well with Mikhail. It seems to have served well now with Awadesu. But I want to see some of these local kids that are local products, not a draft choice or not somebody brought in from Brazil to get through as well. That's important to us, I think. I think that's also, when you use the word community as MLS teams do, that's the greatest form of community, okay? That's the greatest form of community. The other form of community is utilizing your resources both in the front office, the competitive side, and then through getting players through. That's community. It's not necessarily just planting a tree. I get that. That's important too. But community is through using your resources. And I'm strong about that. And, I'm at the end of my career. Hopefully not too soon. But they say they put you out to pasture. I hope not. I feel like I'm at the top of my game these days, but that's the way it goes. No matter how bad this is, status as a legend as a player is going to keep him here. I don't think so. I think Pat understands he's a general manager now. I don't think Pat flaunts that. I think some guys flaunt that till the end, and that's their calling card. Pat Onstad, I don't think, is doing that. I think Pat is very intent on being an executive and being a GM, and I feel he has that challenge. I don't see him as that type of guy, and there are a lot of those guys that ride that, which is fine if you want to do that, but I think he feels the weight and the pressure of the organization. I feel indebted to him, and I'm rooting for him, and I do agree that some things should have been in place at this point. But I do feel that he's wants to give his all for the club. And by the way, that's Asher and that's everybody. I mean, they all have a part of this. You got to get players across the finish line when you're going to lose 4 good ones. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of the league too. I think a lot of people, they're not the only ones that are doing it. That don't have ready-made players. It's not easy. This time of the year it's not easy to get players. It's easier to get them from within the league, like they did with Jack. Let's see. We got a long way to go. Well, that's okay, Jonathan. Yeah, we do. But we have 1 point in 4 games, and if 1 point in 4 games or 4 points in 10 games is all we have, the long way to go is you're a third of the season through. So that can fold and compound pretty quickly here.
It's not panic time yet, but it's definitely getting close.
Don't stop believing. By the way, I was invited backstage to that, Ike Bear, because a friend of mine is manager for both Neil Schoen, the guitar player, and Arnel Pineda, the great singer.
You'll go through some
Cactus Music
scores?
would be happy we're talking about Journey right now. Journey should make a pitch to be a part of the World Cup final. They should make a pitch. They're American as apple pie, yet they're global as well. Those are global songs that people know all over the world. Yeah, there's a lot of bagging on Pat here. Dynamo 2 players at Jose. Please ask Pat the fans one-on-one, why do you hate them? I don't think he hates them. Why would you say he hates them, Dago? What does that mean? Explain that to me. Bartlow had a great game. Showed fight. Yes, he did. He was determined, no question. I don't think anybody lacked fight here tonight. I don't think effort was a part of it. I think Ben Olsen always gets that effort out of these guys. That's one of his calling cards. Yeah, I don't know. That's up to the ownership group. I don't know. Yeah.
All
right, guys. Keep it coming. It's great stuff here tonight. Really appreciate it, everybody. So we're starting to grow this thing. We have 243 viewers right now, and that means you guys are passionate. You're feeling something. You're making great comments, and let's all drink a beer on Tuesday night at Senate Avenue Brewing, Jersey Village. You're going to love this place. Big outdoor patio too.
All right, we
got some scores around MLS we'll give you, and then we'll keep the talk going.
New York Red Bulls, Orlando City 2-2 draw. Toronto losing at home to Chicago 2-1. Glennon mentioned this on the broadcast. Austin taking a point in L.A. Winners 1-0.
Yeah, they scored off a corner. By the way, that was against the run of play, so that was a good road win for them.
I clicked on it. You got Charlotte 2-0 winners over.
Who scored the goals in that?
Adjuman scored one. No, he did not.
Adjuman and Abadia.
2-0 winners over Cincinnati. DC and Montreal played a 0-0. NYCFC 2-1 winners over New England Revolution. KC and Minnesota played a 3-3 draw. Dallas losing at home to Vancouver 1-0. Vancouver staying undefeated.
By the way, Vancouver knocked out Sergio Ramos and Monterrey from CONCACAF Champions Cup. Now, I don't think that would have happened if they played in Rayado Stadium, so Shakira gets a little bit of the blame on that one. I do want to respond to something here for a second, Justin. Where is it? I do not blame Olsen at all for the record. Well, coaches will always take responsibility, Agent Winters. Yes, he had his roster gutted, but he's a part of the roster build. He'll tell you that. I don't know if he didn't have a say. Yes, when Mikhail left and Sviatchenko is not fit, yeah, that's a big problem because, you need a veteran to guide, Awadesu. But make no mistake, the attack has been an issue since 23. This team hasn't learned how to attack in the way that it should, to combine with all the other things the first 2 years that they had really working for them. So that remains the challenge. Well, that was the challenge coming into this season. Now you got additional challenge with the loss of players, right? But that comes down to making a big DP signing. That's going to be very influential. And that comes down to finding out what type of attacking team you want to be. You don't have individuals that make their own goals. You don't have a transition game. We don't get behind opponents. So there's a lot of things there that can be worked on that can be added to the attack. You have a center forward, to me, that comes back into midfield way too much. I would put a rope on him and say, occupy a center back and stay up there, Ezekiel. All right? If you got to come out and play a little bit of a game with center backs and drag them around a little bit, yes. But for the most part, you got to stay higher up the field. I'm sorry.
It's this comment here is where my argument is that if the attack hasn't been improved since 2023, isn't that on the coach? I 100% put it on the coach. You've had a failed attack with Sebas. You've had a failed attack now with Ponce. You don't have goal scorers, and I think it's based on your tactics.
It's not just on Ponce. It's on a wide game. It's on a system that's very narrow. And when it's narrow, other teams are narrow as well, and it makes it difficult to break them down. I don't think we don't feel confident enough to have a bigger wide game maybe. Kyle says, if Jack begins to play with confidence, Ladero continues to turn back the clock, wins are on the way. That's possible. That's possible. Ladero's a pro. He doesn't like to lose, you can tell. It's quality of players. It's not just quality of players. I don't think it's one thing to RS. Attack hasn't been improved. Isn't that on the coach? Well, it's for sure. It's on the coach. It's on the tactics you want to employ, too. And I don't think it's simply on players. I think Ponce would get more chances maybe if you tweak the tactics of the team or the quote-unquote game model or whatever that is. Most of the players come undertrained or prone to injuries. In off-season, undertrained. Who would you say that is? Sviatchenko's out injured. Who else is undertrained? You're saying guys didn't come in fit, RS? Talk to me on that. 29 Churro, back-to-back record-breaking DP strikers where one got bought out and the other one is being questioned. Yep. How much is the question on him as an individual? We know he's good in the air, Churro. And how much is he being questioned because it's a system that he doesn't fit? He was scoring a goal every 2 games in Greece. Yeah, I think Agent Winners. Good wingers who can service them. And that's not only service, it's also bring width to pull people off of the 2 center forwards, right? If you're playing and everything comes inside all the time, and you don't get to the end line and get delivery in, and you don't get it in positions where you're turning an opposing team, running back to their own goal, and they're always defending by seeing everything in front of them, it's not good. You got to turn defenses. Sebas was before Ben. Well, Ben wasn't too high, I don't think, on Sebas. So only Ponce. And I don't think Sebas came in fit when Ben Olsen was named the coach. I think he was feeling pretty good about himself and didn't train hard enough. And you know what? I feel bad for him because he lost an opportunity to be a part of Paraguay.
Now, there are still 2 players that have not made an impact yet this year because they're still injured. But with
Lawrence Anali
and
Nelson
Nelson
Quinones
Quinones,
Jr.
do you think they will add a impact?
Well, it depends on how they come back from injury. There's nothing more you can say. First, you have to see how they come back from injury. And now you got another problem because Andrew Tarbell, that doesn't look good to me. I don't want to speculate, but he's trying. I think he thought he was going to feel some contact. He kind of doesn't know where he is. His intent is to catch the ball. He goes over the end line and he lands kind of funny and immediately grabs his knee. So I hope that's like a sprain or a strain, and I hope there's nothing more serious than that. That said, I think Jimmy Maurer came in and was excellent. He did what he needed to do. He flared the first corner that came in. He flailed at it and missed it. After that, he was perfect. And you saw his positional play on Wolf. Wolf was never going to beat him on that blast. He made the ball hit him basically. Back to record-breaking DP strikers where one got bought out. Okay. Won't say didn't have good way up. Sebas was before Ben, but both turned out wrong for the system. Can you pump up the volume?
I just did a little bit.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume.
There
Yeah.
you go. All right.
That was Mars. That was Mars, Bogdan. I think relying on 2 wingers coming back from an ACL injury to turn this around is, well, I think it's a little bit scary, right? Because you never know. Pump up the volume, Mars. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to play that Tuesday at Jersey. Who's going to, somebody commit to Jersey Village. Only Jose said he's going. It's a great brew pub, and it's a small businessman. Everything is fresh. It's made in there, which is pretty amazing. It's small batch stuff. You're not going to, these are the kind of people we want to support, these small or these local brew pubs. These guys are putting their heart and soul, their money into it. Sebas with a goal in Rosario Central, good. Mikhail didn't play bad in Palmeiras. Cincy winning with ex-Dynamos. Where do you get the scoring this season? Well, I think that's just the question. Listen, we the last 2 years with all the good that occurred with making the playoffs and everything, right? We were relying on people who aren't goal scorers. And that includes Coco, by the way, guys. Sorry. Coco, Bossi, Kovalchuk, they're not goal scorers. That's who we're relying on to score goals in a lot of ways. And I think that's unfair to those players. They're not goal scorers. Dago Rodriguez says he lives there. You live at Senate Avenue Brewery? Oh, I like that. So he already knows what good beer that is. Hope Darbell didn't jump the same way Nelson did. Well, he came down strange. Yeah, the Columbia game. Yeah, that was not nice, RS. You're right. And where were the fans? Well, I don't think that's... Where were the fans? I think that's a question we ask all the time. I think it's systemic. I think it's years of neglect, not enough in the community. We use the word very liberally, community, 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 but nah, I don't see enough marketing-wise. I don't see enough to traditional soccer and to the people that are talking on this right now. We're now over 303 viewers. We're setting a record here. This is fun. Guys, I want to go home at some point. Rob Zipp's show. I don't drink, but I'll be there. That's fine. Don't have to drink. Nothing wrong with not drinking. The food's good, by the way. We didn't even mention that. And they've got a bunch of monitors in there. They got a really good outdoor area. All right, thanks for tuning in. Rob, Bogdan, Churro, thank you. Jose, we would have more fans if the Dynamo would be interested for the real community. Yeah, we are. Listen, we are. You are listening. We are a community with people from all over the world that love soccer. We know that. They are there. Okay, I'm interested, and I'm going to be here Wednesday because I want to take in La Selecta in El Salvador. And I want to see how many Salvadorian fans come out. And I want to see if we're activating and trying to get those fans here. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Salvadorian fans are passionate about soccer. I would love to see us go after the authentic. I like to say about myself, I'm an authentic soccer person. You know, struggled through the hard times with the pro leagues in the 80s. My whole life has been around the sport. The one thing I can promise when I come on here is I'm authentic. And I believe that's why I connect with people. Doesn't mean I'm always right, and I'm not. This is a game that's based on opinion, takes, the way we see it. But it's also based on communication and togetherness and all that kind of stuff. And we can't be afraid to have a take. And, you know, I see a lot of the podcasts. I'm glad people are covering the team. But to me, there's nothing in there for me when it's constantly being an apologist for the club, the team. In the good times, we got their back, and the bad times, we got their back. But having their back is being realistic. Date and time of Senate Avenue. I'm going to be there at 5, so it's going to go 5. We're going to be live on the air 6 to 8. It's up 290 if you're coming from downtown or any of those areas. You get off at the Senate Avenue exit. Same thing if you're going south on 290, it's Senate Avenue. I mean, it's right there. HH was creating good community around. Yes and no. Yes and no. No, I don't think he did enough, honestly. Throwing a pitch out at a baseball game might get a lot of people's attention. I don't think it puts people in the seats necessarily. I didn't see enough of him in the community. I did on behalf of other sponsors. But the fact that he doesn't learn any English to me is a big blow. Because when you don't learn English, then all those guys who have their nightly sports programs on local mainstream media, they're not making the effort to go get them. How is it Christian Pulisic can go to Italy and all of a sudden can do interviews in Italian? HH didn't have to learn the language inside and out. He had to learn 5 or 6 sentences like me, right? I mean, I can whip off some Spanish and people will think I know Spanish when I don't because I've memorized a few sentences. That's all he needed to do. No, I don't think they got the marketing dollar out of him. I think people believed they were going to sign Herrera and you're going to sell the stadium out. That is naive, as can be. Naive. And that has to come from somebody who's not a soccer person and doesn't understand the community. Dynamo and part Salvador in this game can be a struggle for both, but people from El Salvador will show. I hope they do, and I hope we turn them into Dynamo fans. If you're from El Salvador, the MLS looks like the Premier League to you in a lot of ways when it comes to your domestic league because of all the problems. And I love Salvador. I've called games there at Cuscatlan and the other stadium. I love it. I've played against FAS. I've played against Firpo, Alianza. I love the Salvadorians, some of the nicest people I've ever met on the planet. So if I'm the Dynamo, I want to win that game. Hernan Dario Gomez is the coach now. I mean, has he coached every team in CONCACAF at this point? But I'm glad he took over. Hugo Perez was there before. I played and traded shirts with the legendary El Mágico Gonzalez. Now, I knew who El Mágico was. He probably didn't know who I was. Doesn't matter. I got to him first. I still have the jersey, and I won't give out my address because I don't want any Salvadorians trying to steal it. But that was at a different time. HH would be the turning point of this club. Well, sustainability's been a problem. I see, but to me, he still did. Maybe. Well, that's fair. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think overall he made the impact because the attendance is the proof of the pudding. Marketing, yeah, that's a problem. I don't think there's enough investment in it. How come fans are not frustrated? Because I don't think we have frustrating. I don't think our fans are like that. I think our fans are happy to be here. And, I mean, not these fans on this take. I mean, I think the real ones are out there. They need to speak up more. I think healthy pressure is needed for everybody. And as much as everybody said, well, we put enough on ourselves. No, that's BS. You need it from the media. You need it from the fans. That's when you become a real football club. Off-season, a lot of salary was acquired. What are you going to do with it? It's great to have GAM. I saw Asher Mendelson, and, he's working hard. But I saw him put out, how much GAM the club has. That's great. I'm not ready to celebrate till we see what we do with it. And then I see fans going, oh, my God, it's so transparent. The league put out the numbers. Transparency is what are we going to do with it? And I think that's where we got to be a little bit stronger with questioning. Yeah.
Arango just scored a goal for San Jose.
Who did, Arango?
Yep.
Yeah. Chicho's, Bruce Arena's no fool.
He's got two now for them?
Yep. All right, we're up to 330 viewers. This is really good. That's all on you guys. And now this makes me want to do this more. Pre-game, we don't get too many people. I understand. Post-game's a lot more interesting, I think. But if we want to try to boost the numbers on the pregame next time, and then maybe you guys tell me what you expect to see from the game, what you expect from the opponent, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Because you guys are on top of this stuff. Yeah. I don't know. You want to go home? Kyle said I'm into that. Yeah. You want to go home? I get a knuckle sandwich once in a while because I've been told by people that I'm negative. You guys let me know if I'm negative. Because I was told I was negative, and I don't think I'm negative. I think I'm serious. I have fun with this as well, or I wouldn't be doing it, but I don't think I'm negative.
I will say this. After knowing Glenn for a little while now, he is not negative. He is honest.
I think I'm fair. I don't think I'm always right. That's for sure, but I'm authentic, like I said.
You also call it like you see it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what people want.
See the first
I don't know.
games play out for
Sometimes people are intimidated by that. They don't like that. I think that's how we grow the sport. You can't be an organization that says we want to be treated like the Texans, Rockets, and Astros. Well, Texas, Rockets, and Astros take a lot of healthy criticism from their fan base and the media. People in the media don't necessarily always kowtow to them. Some do. You got those. They're okay. There's different ways to relay the message, but you got to have a blend of everything. I don't mind the fan that's just a total loyalist all the time. But you got to have more than that. You got to have the ones that want more and demand more. First 10 games play out. Well, Portland and Seattle on the road. The road was a better place for the Dynamo.
Actually, let's look at
big office needs to get a big player over the line. Yeah, but I think the Dynamo want to pick guys that are system guys and fit. And I don't think they're going to take a risk on an eclectic player that might have an edgy attitude, but is the kind of guy that can win you games. I mean, they did to an extent with Hector. Truth hurts. I'm always going to speak the truth. I've been doing this for a long time, so I want to speak the truth, and I want to be in integrity with myself when I talk about the team and the games. Eric S., who's injured, and do an interview on your pregame show. Well, I'm trying to get people to come out to these events, but I don't think they can come on Tuesday, and that's a challenge in itself. I try to get people in studio, but I think there's a lot of things with being paid to come to studios, and also being, part of the collective bargaining agreement is people have to get paid if they're sent to a studio. So they don't want to send them because they don't want to be paid. Sign another midfielder. Josh, praise without criticism is meaningless. Yeah, of course. Because you can fall into this you believe your own BS. Everyone get out to send it out. Man, if you guys can light it up, that would be sick. I'm really working on bringing a lot of cool guests there. We're going to have some people talking about League MX as well, for those who like that. I'll announce more of our guests probably Monday. Antoine Griezmann, that would be something, huh? Dash still in the NWSL. Yeah, well, they played last night. Honestly, they looked a little bit better. But, again, systemic. You can't tell us it's all going to turn over. Just prove it. I just, we see the same things year after year, and it's dangerous. When you say the same things over and over, it's not good. I do like a couple of signings. I like Ryan, who I did some of her games when she was at TCU. Messiah Bright's there. They got to get Ordonez healthy, but I thought the shape of the team looked better. Time will tell. Time will tell. What else?
There are the next 4 matches are not going to be easy ones. You got Seattle, who always plays Houston hard. Portland in Portland, so both those games are on the road. Then LAFC comes here, and then we got to play LA Galaxy, which
this is a really tough opening schedule. Yes, they could keep players another season for 20th anniversary. Yeah, but RS, that's not. Listen, that's not true. They could keep them. They could keep a lot of guys that would be disgruntled after being promised they'd have an opportunity to move on, like Coco Carrasquilla, right? Mikael probably was money too good to be true because they got him for virtually nothing. That was good business. But if you're going to hype up the 20th anniversary, you want to come out of the block strong. Dynamo Scout League MX at all? I would assume they do, Churro. I would assume. Is Tim Howard an asset? I don't know. You're not going to change you. It's good to have as an owner. He was an owner of that Memphis team that disappeared. I don't know where that club went. All of a sudden, they're gone. So he was involved with the Memphis team that came and went pretty fast. I think it's nice to have Tim Howard as an owner. I don't think physically he's going to come here and do anything. I don't think he's going to be in the community. No. I mean, I think it's like a celebrity ownership. I think Tim's got a lot of things he's doing, right? He's on NBC. Tim's doing Tim. Now, that brings up the whole thing of local ownership and how important that is. And nothing against Ted Siegel. I mean, he's putting money into this, but I mean, I just think when somebody's local here, knows the community, I think it helps. I mean, I don't see us using the local resources. Never have. Adam says impossible to compete in MLS with one DP. Need game changers, that's for sure. Yeah, it's a rebuild. Nobody wants to say that. It is a rebuild. I don't know, Kyle. Do we have an academy? Yes. RS, probably not. None here at Bear Branch. RSL and Dallas for both games, we needed 3 points. Yep. I think the Dallas game we gave away. Yeah, I mean, the Harden thing, that's all fashionable. Everybody does it in MLS. The problem is when we sit here as fans and we have somebody say to us, oh, he's going to sit in meetings and he's got a lot of great ideas and he loves soccer. I don't want that. That's called, have you ever heard the term, don't piss on my boots? We don't want that. I'm sorry, that was a little bit rude. Let me take that back. That was rude. I apologize for that. But it's hard for me because I want it to be so good. And I've been here and I've seen the soccer community grow. I think, Dago, you're being a little hard on Obafemi. Obafemi is coming from a guy who was a rookie and got groomed by a veteran. He can be groomed, I think.
He's still young.
He's
Very
young. I think he's grown as the games have gone on. I think athletically he's a good fit. That's why he's getting the start. He is left-footed. Nah, I like him. Actually, I'm gonna defend him. That's why I was upset Freakin' Group didn't invest locally. Well, Freakin' Group keeps a low profile, by the way. I think they just invested Jeff in Everton. They're Roma, right? Okay, thanks, Dago. Okay, you know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate that somebody appreciates the emotion I have for it without, telling me I'm negative or something else. And we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you got to see improvement this year. And that's got to come through player signings, maybe altering the tactics. We'll see. These are the types of questions that come back. By the way, the Freakin' Group never had any interest in MLS because of the centralized nature of it. So, yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. I think we would wish. Listen, Blue Crow Sports and Jeff Luno. They got Leganés in the Spanish First Division in La Liga. Got a lot of owners of pro sports soccer franchises around the world here. It's pretty incredible. They're all Houston-based. I think I'm honest and authentic. That's the only way I know. Thank you for the passion. Jose, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I agree with Kyle. I do like Awadesu. I think he's going to be somebody that takes a lot out of a situation that isn't good. Like when there are situations like this that provide opportunity or a break for somebody, then they take advantage of it, which I think he's doing right now. He made one mistake in one of the games against Inter Miami. I think it's good. Thank you, Osmar. We need Luna to buy the Dynamo. Yeah, he's been on my radio show, Bogdan. They don't like the centralized nature of it. They'd rather buy lower division teams and then try and spit shine them and jump them to the next level. Don't know, Churro. I think there's a long leash here. They made the playoffs the last 2 years. I think there's a long leash. 380 viewers, pretty incredible. We're going to shut this down in 2 or 3 minutes, so if you want to get a last comment in, let me know. What else?
Be sure, guys, with everybody that is tuning in, give us the like, give us the follow, subscribe to the Soccer Matters YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, like the video, share it. Whenever we do go live, share it to your personal timelines, too.
Yeah, guys, that keeps me in business. That keeps me able to do this kind of thing. Helps keep the radio show on the air. I'm real here with you guys, and what I've told you before is that radio show is I buy the time to have soccer on. I've done that ever since I left 90.1, which was public radio. It gave me the start and gave me the opportunity to do this and learn radio. Ever since then, I have to get sponsorship to pay for my airtime. So I want you to know that. I'm not on staff at ESPN technically, although they weave me in nicely, and I love all the people there. And they are a station that, so, every time you call, that's a bonus. Every time you bring takes. Like, I'd love for this to carry over to the radio more so we can prove to people in mainstream down here that there is more going on. And there is a crowd that wants to go deeper other than, worrying solely about what color our uniform's going to be. I think Bogdan said something about local media. Yeah, we don't have healthy pressure here. We know that. We know that. Maybe the World Cup will change that. I don't know. I don't think the Dynamo get a lot of healthy coverage. I think a lot of I like the effort that a lot of the podcasters put in. I don't see them pushing anything, though, to be honest with you. There's very little of that. It's more compliant. So that's what I think about media coverage. Only players with W H. McGlynn were both offered to us because they wanted to come here. Shameful that such a Houston legend gets no respect from the local pro club. What does that mean? You mean that fans are challenging him? Is that what that means, Bogdan? Keep the pregame and post-match shows rolling. Okay, let's get more numbers on the pregame.
Yeah.
Bogdan, shameful that such a Houston legend gets no respect from the local pro club. Pathetic.
He might be referring to you.
What do you mean? I don't know what that means. You got to explain that a little bit better. That people are on here criticizing Pat? I think Pat's open to healthy criticism. I don't think Pat's open to derogatory stuff. No, not at all. I'll defend him on that. But, I mean, Pat's a decision maker. Ben's a decision maker. Asher's a decision maker. Owner's a decision maker. It's pro sports. It is only 4 games, too. I mean, that's an easy thing to say, but and the point of not having replacements ready, it's a good, fair point. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good, fair point. Okay, you are not. Oh, I see what he says. Yeah. Pat is not given the financial support. Well, that may be fair. Yeah, that may be fair. Yeah, I see what he's saying. But all right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. 397. Man, if we could just bridge 400. So again, I want to remind you, when you guys bring these comments, this is wonderful because we get a great bounce back here. We got a good thing going here. If you can carry that over to the radio for me and help me with that. What I'm trying to do is a number of things, and I hope you guys are interested. We're doing a number of things organically through the soccer community. Like tomorrow, I'll be out in Cy-Fair because we're doing a kick cancer event. It's a 3v3 tournament. All the proceeds go back to a 501c charity. The Dynamo Soccer Club, who has a guy named Olivier Finidori running it, he's an ex-indoor player with the Hot Shots when they played in the Summit. They've been doing it for 19 years. It's organic. It's grassroots. We're not doing it for any sponsor. Same thing with the radio show and getting feedback, right? Senate Avenue is a partner of mine and a sponsor. It's a smaller business like most of my stuff on the show. They help get it on the radio. When they see you calling in, when they see you coming to their establishments, this is when we have it going. And that helps me, no question. Helps me with the radio show. Helps me when I walk in to try and get sponsors. FYI, I'm bringing out the whip to the next game. Wait. Oh, I know what that is. Did anybody hear about? Is it over? Huh? Are we still on here?
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh, okay. It says thanks for tuning in. Did anybody see that in the Saudi League, I think, where a guy got subbed out and he was in the tunnel and the sheik ran down with a whip and started whipping the guy, and the guy was going like this, fending off the, oh my God, I never saw anything like that in my life. Picking up lunch at Zoa. Who sees that? RS, you do? Oh, I love Zoa. Yeah. Man, there was a time I was going there like every day. Yeah, well, if you see me, say hello the next time, RS. Shoot, we should get Zoa's Moroccan food. Incredible. Oh.
Yep, take me there.
There's 2 Zoa places. Yeah. They're great. There's one on Richmond, too. Man, I should get them as a sponsor. Moroccan food. We hit 400, guys. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it tonight. Guys, you're the best. Let's do this together. Doesn't work with just me talking into a microphone, by the way. Great stuff tonight. Senate Avenue Brewery on Tuesday, 6 to 8 Central Time. We'll have some Soccer Matters T-shirts out there. If you get out there early, I'm going to give some soccer balls away. We'll have some raffle. Be some good surprises. There'll be some other people you're going to want to talk to in the world of soccer out there as well. So let's come out and let's take control of our soccer community on our own like we did tonight on this postgame show. Thank you very much. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Thank you.